What's up, everybody? I'm Mr. Second Passport, checking in with the special edition on this Saturday night, here June 25th, 2022. About 13 days or so into the roadblock protest here in Ecuador with a good friend of mine, Jack Abercrombie, one of the few people I know here in Ecuador who's been here longer than me and is way more knowledgeable about pretty much anything Ecuador you want to know. He also offers his services, all kind of services, to expats, both new arrivals and folks who've been here a while. Everything from visas to real estate to rentals. If anything you need, translations, Jack probably can help you, or he knows someone who can. He'll be sure to include his information here in this video. So Jack, what do you think? What are you hearing? What's going on right now out there on the roads? Is the situation improving, or is it getting worse as we speak?
There has been some improvement for sure. Big announcement around 7 p.m. That they're coming close to some dialogue after 2 days of negotiations. Going to take another day or two probably to start getting some really good feedback and some more progress. But yeah.
What are some reports you've heard back online? I know you're real active in the Facebook groups and Ecuador expat groups. As far as people trying to travel, have they been able to? What have their experiences been like? For instance, I know someone who went from Quito to Ambato today, and he said he had to switch taxis 3 or 4 times. When he hit roadblocks, he had to do some walking. There was one point where he had to make a 20-minute walk, and he did make it, but it took him pretty much all day to get from Quito to Ambato, normally a 3-hour drive. So tell me anything you're hearing out there from other people, any experiences?
For instance, trying to leave Quito Airport and go to Cotacachi.
You're kind of out of the picture for me. Yeah, there you go.
I want to mention Casa de la Cultura. This is my father-in-law. They had a big meeting down there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, today.
Wait, your father-in-law does paintings, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's been at the Casa de la Cultura for 55 years.
So we'll include his contact too.
Yeah, exhibitionist and what do you call it? And an instructor.
Yeah.
But you can encounter. You can go on the Google Live feed maps and see the blockages just to go from here to Cotacachi, or from south from here to Ambato, Cuenca. Not a good time to be ground pounded unless, like your friend, you want to just hand out 20s at every roadblock. I'm sure that was about a $200 trip easily. Find out if you can. They're doing helicopter evacuations for anybody with medical problems out of Cotacachi for $680 one way, one 35-pound bag, no pets. And if somebody was having an anxiety attack or some sort of problem, it'll be worth it.
If someone's interested in that, they just get in touch with you, and you can get them in touch with those people.
It's 3 brothers that's got the contact on the chopper pilot. It's Milton, Jorge, and Patricio Andramunio. Good guys. That's based out of Cotacachi, Otavalo office. Machi Tours, not Machi, but Macho Tours, something like that.
Okay.
I'll put it and I'll comment down below when we get done.
So why do you think, Jack? Why do you think that this whole thing's going on? What's the motive here? What do they want? What's the end game for these indigenous, in your opinion?
Well, I feel like the indigenous are being exploited and used. A lot of them are. 50-60% don't really want to be out there. They want to be on their job, on the farm, at the Rose Plantation, at the Crean House. As you know, last Sunday, a week ago, Gustavo Petro came into power in Colombia. He's a former guerrilla rebel founder of M19. M19 was very strong in the 70s and 80s. It's a predecessor to the FARC. That's who's running Colombia now. So there's a nice map of the Tomahawk South American continent, and you've got big sea of red, except for Brazil, Paraguay, Uruguay. Everything else is red. Chile, Argentina, Colombia, Venezuela. There's a little patch here called Ecuador. It's about this close to
Well, where do you see this going from here? Quick ending here, few days, or drawn out? Could get ugly, bloody. Where do you see this going? If you had a crystal ball.
It's ugly and bloody now. We got about 30 soldiers that are being held captive, Ecuadorian military that are taken hostage. We've got 4 or 5 fatalities around the country of demonstrators. I feel like there's outside forces from Rafael Correa over in Brussels, who's got an international Interpol warrant. If he can fund and send funds to elders, chiefs in some of these tribes and encourage them to participate and have the agent provocateurs out of Colombia and Venezuela, ELN, FARC, mercenaries come in and help guide and corral the indigenous to that half that didn't really want to get involved. They just want to go do their job and provide for their families. They're going in the greenhouses with guns and machetes. Get out of here. Get out in the street. In the communities, the tribal elders are going in the comuna. If every person in this house is going to pay $10 a day that they don't participate, or come on down here and receive $10 a day. The money's being distributed.
Do you think this might be narco funded, these uprisings? Because boy, Rafael Correa was one of the most lenient presidents ever on the narcos.
Yeah, he was closely aligned with them and still is.
Booted the U.S. base out, if people don't know. He booted the U.S. base out of Manta. He basically decriminalized trafficking small amounts of drugs, and he did a whole bunch to help the narco in Ecuador. And I think we're just starting to see effects of that now, maybe 5-6 years after he left office. But I don't know. What do you think? Are the narcos secretly panning for a return, or the Correistas back in power? What do you think?
Well, there's definitely little Ecuador sandwiched in here like a triangle between Colombia and Peru. Bolivia is also a big coke provider. From what I understand, Colombia does all the processing, but we're a corridor for get it to the port, and then you have complicity with the Port Authority, the military, the national police. They have to be involved in some level for us to be the #1 transporter on planet Earth. We don't grow it, we don't manufacture it, we transport it out of 2 or 3 major ports.
Mm-hmm.
So there has to be complicity at all levels of government for that to take place. Lasso's been very proactive in, there's been a state of exception in Esmeraldas, Manabí, and Guayas for over a month and a half. And so he's rustling some tail feathers and hurting this underground economy And so, like, hey, he's getting in our pocketbook. Let's send some money and fan the flames and have these 10 demands. Some of them that are just not going to be able to accomplish. 2 or 3 of them are just not feasible. Because
are those 10 demands the real reason you see for this protest, or is there something else that's not in it?
Coercion and deception and bribery is the main driving force.
Straight up coup? You don't think it's a straight up coup?
They want Lasso gone. They want him gone. That's for sure. And that is taking place right now. National Assembly convened 6 hours ago, 6 p.m. It's 10 till midnight now. They're still going strong in downtown Quito. How can we get rid of Lasso? You know, since the movement is kind of taking a break and dying down, reconnoitering. I want to stay away from saying it's over, because if it was indeed ruled to be over tomorrow or Monday evening after a full business day down at the palace, you still got to get the memo out to the Amazon, up and down the Pana from here to Vilcabamba, Aloha, Cuenca. Poor Cuenca's blocked off on all 4 corners. They're air cargo, airlifting in there, food and supplies. Brazil sent a load down yesterday. It's terrible that they have no gas. Gas has been cut off. Buses run, buses get cut off. And people going around jabbing tires with these big spears with, pointed shanks on them, busting tires for the gas trucks, the buses. Poor people stopped at a roadblock. A bunch of flat tires. It's expensive for somebody, trying to operate a taxi or private transport. Busting windshields out.
So what tips do you have for new arrival expats at this point? What do you think? Should they wait to come? How should they see this situation? How should they handle it? What do you think?
Give us about another week or 2, see how things go. This time when school's out, June, July, the airfares are kind of expensive anyway. Let school get back in. Come later. Give us a few more weeks, at least a week or 2, and see how things go. Give us 48, 72 hours. Cause
is this something that you would move from Ecuador because of, or would you be patient with the situation? What do you think?
Well, I mean, before you came here 10 years ago, you had backpacked and traveled a lot of the world. Before I came here in 2008, I had done a lot of traveling in Europe, North Africa, Middle East. If you've traveled a lot, you're not too worried about adversity and stuff.
Yeah.
But somebody that's real anal and everything's got to run on time, it's got to be like this, I want you to hang back another month or 2. If you just come off the job and you're now retired and you haven't even practiced being retired back in Texas or Georgia or New York or California, practice being retired for a minute, get you a hobby, and let us straighten this out down here and get it running back. Things don't run on time in Ecuador to start with. So when you add this to the fray, it really backs things up. So you would be an anal person would come down here and be very upset with the way things is going. This is a developing country that has a huge indigenous population that likes to have their say. And even if they are being pushed and promoted about a 50-50 as I see it, you're going to have to be patient and don't worry about everything running on time, because that's not the case anyway in Latin America before uprisings and riots and stuff.
So any final word for people tonight, and how can people get in touch with you if they want to use your services, and how can you help people, and What do you offer, and how can they get in touch with you?
We offer a wide variety of umbrella of services for relocation to Ecuador. All areas, all popular areas, and some not so popular areas, off the beaten track areas. Journeymanjack.com, EcuadorRealEstate.org. We'll put those down below in the description. Journeyman Jack in Ecuador blog, Journeyman Jack in Ecuador YouTube. I'm hoping to share this video as well on my channel, my small little channel. And I'll be looking to hear from people, but just be patient. Give us 48 hours, 72 hours, see what's going on. For those that are already canceling flights and stuff. And for the people that may be leaving, it's going to create some opportunities in realty. Oftentimes people ask me to be their power of attorney, and here's the keys to the kingdom. Here's the keys to the car. We're going back to Alabama or wherever, upstate New York, Washington State, Oregon, wherever they may be going back to. We'll have some more listings for you. I assure you, they're coming in.
That was good.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of your travels, I heard you had a good Egypt story. What happened to you in Egypt?
Hey,
I'm just kidding.
I think that'll be for another video, but it does make me in mind of Thursday night. They went into Casa de la Cultura, where Paul-in-law has worked for 55 years. And the police took it over Thursday night, National Police. And then Friday, Lasso said, I'm going to do a good faith effort and allow the Kane and the indigenous leaders to go in there and have some rhetoric and a say-so all day yesterday and all day today, Saturday. And it's just a few minutes before midnight now, Saturday night, 25 June 2022, day number 13 of the Paro Nacional. This is not over. Even if it was over tomorrow evening this time at midnight or Monday night at midnight, you got to get word throughout these 24 provinces. Stop doing roadblocks, stop busting windows, stop jabbing tires with your spear. You have to be strong to jab a tire with a spear. I mean, that takes a lot of strength. And it's expensive. A big tractor trailer tire, when I left the US in 2008, a front steering tire was $500 14 years ago. So wow. Down here, and this time much later, a virgin casing front steering tire, not a recap. I mean, all over the country. They cut the oil off in the jungle about 10 days ago. October 2019 cost Ecuador billions with a B, just like Mashi Rafael Correa acquired in 10 years, somewhere in the neighborhood of $70 billion. So he has a big war chest. And if this is not resolved now, tonight, tomorrow night, next week, it's still just going to be like October 2019, simmering under the surface, and can raise its ugly head when somebody starts sending funds to these co-ops and these offshore accounts. Let's have another uprising, because I don't want to stay in Belgium the rest of my life with asylum. I want to be able to go back home, put my crown on, and be Mashi the king for life. That's what they really want. That's what they really want. They want Lasso gone. Lasso's got to go. They want Mashi to come back. We want a big brother to show us the way and take care of us, A
big brother.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Jack. Well, hey, thanks for coming on. And if you're interested in meeting up with Jack, I will leave that right here in the video, his information for you. And we'll check back in soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, one last thing before I go. Every Tuesday, we have an expat meet and greet that you attend when you can. 1:30, Kumbaya, El Patio. We had downsized from like 35 to 12, 19. We had 19 the first Tuesday of the Pyro, and this past Tuesday we had 12. So it's impacting us here in the Valley area of Kumbaya, Tumbaco, Puembo, Pifo, Tababella. Thanks for having me on, Dom.
Sounds good, Jay. I'll see you.
Okay. Good night, everybody. Stay safe.
All right. How do we